And call this meeting of the Oskaloosa City Council to order. Today is February 3rd, 2014. Let's start with the invocation by Pastor Elizabeth Colton, St. Paul Congregational United Church of Christ.
Let us pray. Gracious and loving God, by whatever name we call you, we ask your presence at this meeting and your guidance as the officials and staff of this city try to carry out what is best for all its citizens. We know that we live in difficult times, so we pray that you will help us to do what is best to promote the general welfare of all citizens. We pray in the name of all that is holy. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Pastor. Charlie, would you lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Amy, roll call, please.
Caligari.
Here.
Jimenez.
Here.
Moore. Here. Van Zetten.
Yeah.
Versteeg. Walling.
Here.
Yates.
Here.
Okay, thank you. Okay, getting along in the agenda, the next item is to receive comments from the community for concerns whether or not they're included in the current agenda. The community is encouraged to come and speak before the mayor and council and asked to keep any statements brief. Any questions are to be asked of the city staff, the council members, or the mayor prior to speaking to the full council, so that way any concerns can be properly researched and addressed away from the meeting. Comments are to be directed to the mayor and city council only. Is there anyone who would care to speak at this time? Okay, seeing none, we'll move on. Item number 5 is the consent agenda. We have minutes and reports, various, I guess the claims are in there, a request from Rollin' Oldies Car Club to close off the streets for their car show, memo of understanding between us and the Mahaska County Emergency Management Agency. So anyway, mostly routine stuff. Do we have a motion for approval?
So moved.
Okay. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Jimenez.
Yes.
Moore. Van Zetten.
Yes.
Versteeg.
Yes.
Walling.
Yes.
Yates.
Yes.
Caligari.
Yes.
Okay, that passes. Item number 6. This is the announcement of various vacancies we have on boards and commissions. First is the Building Code Board of Appeals. We have 2 vacancies to fill, and that's upon appointment and serves at the pleasure of the mayor. This is a 5-member board that meets as needed. Currently, we have 3 males serving with 2 vacancies. The Civil Service Commission, we have 1 vacancy to fill. It serves a 4-year term that begins on April 1st of 2014. It ends on March 31st of 2018. It's a 3-member commission that meets as needed, and currently we have 3 males that are serving. Municipal Housing Agency, 1 vacancy to fill upon appointment to complete an unexpired term that ends on February 28 of 2015. And 3 vacancies to fill that serve 2-year terms that begin on March 1st of 2014 and end on February 29th of 2016. This is a 5-member agency that typically meets quarterly. 2 males and 2 females are currently serving with 1 vacancy. And finally, the Planning and Zoning Commission, we have 1 vacancy to fill, and that's upon appointment to complete an unexpired term that ends on April 30th of 2017. It's a 7-member commission that typically meets the 2nd Monday of the month as needed. 5 males and 1 female are currently serving with the 1 vacancy. Okay. Next item on the agenda takes us over to the annual report from the Mahaska Community Recreation Foundation. Sherry Bavra, podium is yours.
Thank you. Hello, everybody. How are we? We got over the Super Bowl and all that? You good to go? We are looking at the annual report tonight, so that's for the whole year for 2013. If you look on the front, we're doing a little different. We're trying to show impact of the community, so I'll note a couple of things. Our participation did increase this year by about 19%, which means we have more things going on out there. Partly because we finished the track, and then we've added tournaments as well. So tournaments are just booming at this time in the spring season. Some key events, of course, we were a partner with RAGBRAI, and we all know that was a key event in our community. That went really well. Penn was able to host its first time ever MCC championship for track, because now they have a collegiate track that they can bring people here, and it was a great track meet. It really was. Developmental progress, again, we finished the track. We did add a couple of things at the skate park. The fence, I think some of you requested that. It looks great and is working really well, I think. And then we had lots of volunteer help, so we appreciate that. If you open it up, you can see the pictures. We're very active. You guys know that throughout the season. We did host 14 tournaments last year. That's an increase from the year before by about 5 tournaments. So we just keep adding tournaments, and now we count them from spring and fall, because now we have tournaments in the fall as well. So those are just moving on all the time. We did have soccer and softball, and our tournaments are big. Some of them are really big, and some are kind of just average and small. We had one that had 8 teams. We had another one, soccer here, had 44 teams. So they can be, yeah. And across the street from soccer with the 44 teams, we had another tournament that was having 38 teams at the Fiveplex. So it can really be a happening place on the weekends. Football did host an Indian Bowl. It's very cute to watch the little kids play on the stadium. It swallows them whole, but they're so adorable. So we do that every year too, and they're out there playing football. A couple of things, different community things you guys know happen on the trail. Crop walk is just one of them. You can look at that picture. If you open to the middle, that's our financial report. This we like to give you guys, especially annually, so you know where the hotel motel tax is going. It does show at the top our income, and then at the bottom our expenses. And we started putting more than one year there, so you can look across there and look at our fiscal years and see that where our developmental dollars are being spent, or different dollars are being spent. And of course we do count on donations. Remember, we're a nonprofit. Our hotel motel tax is still averages about anywhere from 80 to 100,000 a year. In addition to our monetary donations, which are listed there by category, we also have in-kind, and we had a lot of donations, that a lot of people that stepped up in the community for RAGBRAI, so those are all listed as well. We did have an annual fundraiser that was bowling that we raised about $4,000, and we will have that again on Friday. Along with the bowling tournament is a silent auction, so you guys are welcome to attend. Then at the bottom you can see volunteers. This is just one project. We had the Rotary Club came out and did some more things to the trail, added some things to their gazebo. They adopted a mile. This year we have over 3,600 volunteer hours given, so thank you to everyone that volunteers. And then if you turn the page, it shows that our Trail Tram program is still strong. We gave rides to over 1,000 people this year. So, you know, we're getting calls all the time. We now have 4 trams. The latest one is the tribute tram. You can see the red, white, and blue tram we kind of featured. And we have a goal of 1,500 this year that we would like to serve. So we're hoping to make that goal. You can look at the bottom and see how many tours we've given and how many people have been served. And then on the other page showed, we went ahead and gave you the numbers for the participation. So as I said, it increased this year about 19%. An average tournament can bring about 600 people out at the Fiveplex, and closer to 1,500 at a football game at the stadium. So real busy. On the back, it's the skate park. We showed you that we put in some concrete benches. We actually poured them in place so they won't be moved around, hopefully. And then I didn't show a picture of the fence, but there is a fence now that surrounds all and keeps the crosswalks in the right places and that sort of thing, and blocks the footballs from going out onto the street. So the skate park is still very, very busy when the weather permits. Okay? Any questions? There's a little bit of information about what's coming up for 14. Of course, everything is depending on, you know, the money that comes in, but we will be developing. Yes, sir.
Just one question.
Yes.
It just caught my eye.
Sure.
It looked like the participation at the stadium was up dramatically for the players with very little increase for the spectators. Is that simply because what we increased was non-spectator sports?
In the stadium numbers, you mean?
Yeah, because we almost doubled in the players close, but
Well, it had a lot to do with our track meets. We didn't have track before, and track brings in a lot of people. We had a middle school, high school, and William Penn doing track, and all those teams come in, so they all count as players. So that added to our numbers greatly. We still have we're still averaging the same, slightly less in high school football, but more in William Penn football. So we're averaging about the same amount of spectators per event. It's just that the events have changed a little bit.
Okay. Thank you.
Thanks, Sherry. Okay.
Any other questions? Thank you, Sherry. Item B, this is a public hearing. It's to consider an ordinance to amend the zoning ordinance of the city of Oskaloosa by rezoning the south portion of the property located at 1115 South 11th Street from an R3 multiple family residential district to LI, which is limited industrial district. This will be the first reading. Tim Blackwell, the owner of 1115 South 11th Street, has submitted a rezoning request. The parcel in consideration is 9.06 acres in the area. Presently, the southern portion of the property is zoned R3, which is a multiple family residential district, while the northern portion of the same property is zoned LI, which is limited industrial. The property is currently being used for vehicle storage of boats and recreational vehicles and rented space for a dance studio. In the future, the applicant proposes that the property will be rented for office space and storage for small businesses. The applicant has requested to rezone the entire property to an LI district in order to be in zoning compliance and have uniform zoning for the entire property. The Planning and Zoning Commission considered this item at their January 13, 2014 meeting, recommended by a vote of 5-0 that the City Council approve the request to rezone the above-mentioned parcel to LI District. And in the rest of the agenda, we have explanations of what the multiple family residential district is like in the LI, and the map accordingly. So I'll open the public hearing at this time if there's anyone who cares to speak on this proposal to amend the zoning ordinance for this property. Okay. Seeing none, I'll close the public hearing. Do we have a motion in favor? So, okay.
Second.
Okay. Now any discussion? Pretty easy decision. Okay. With that, roll call, please.
Moore.
Yes.
Benzett.
Yes.
Versteg.
Yes.
Walling.
Yes.
Yates.
Yes.
Calgery.
Yes.
Jimenez.
Yes.
Okay, that passes. Item C, consider a resolution for preliminary approval of the plan specs and form of contract and estimated cost, and also for ordering publication of notice of the hearing and notice to bidders for the First Avenue East Sidewalk project. Garden & Associates has prepared plans and specs for the First Avenue East Sidewalk project. This item allows staff to proceed with scheduling a public hearing on the plans and specifications and a bid letting date for the First Avenue East Sidewalk project. The scope of this project includes new 10-foot wide concrete sidewalk, ADA ramps, new curb and gutter, composite pavement, new street lights with underground electrical connections, intakes, storm drains, and other miscellaneous improvements along the north side of the First Avenue East from North 1st Street to North 2nd Street, and along the west side of North 2nd Street from First Avenue East to the law enforcement parking lot. The preliminary engineering construction cost estimate for this project is $112,036, and the design cost is $30,600 for a total project cost $142,636. The total cost of this project will be shared by the city and the property owners. The city's share is approximately $95,281 for the new curb and gutter, street lights, ADA ramps, and the pavement. The property owner's share will be about $47,355 for the new sidewalk and any necessary improvements beneath those sidewalks. If the project is awarded, construction is proposed to commence from April to May, depending on the weather. Anticipated work completion time is 30 working days. City Council is prepared to obtain bids for the First Avenue East Sidewalk project, and bids will be received and opened on Wednesday, February 12th, 2014 at 10 o'clock a.m. and presented to the City Council for a public hearing on Tuesday, February 18th of 2014. So staff's recommending approval of this item as presented. Do we have a motion to that effect? Okay. Any discussion?
Couple questions. Is this in the next budgeted year?
This one.
It's in, as we speak. Okay.
Yeah, we had originally anticipated $200,000 being carved out for this particular project with the expectation that it would be lower than that because the scope was reduced pretty dramatically. It's not a streetscape project. It's just your basic curb gutter. I think one of the enhanced part of it is the underground utilities. We want to put the lighting, the electrical underground, not have the wires overhead. And we may go with a decorative light post just to try to mimic some of that downtown feel.
This isn't going to have the brick inlay then, right?
No, sir. No, sir. That was the direction from council when this project was discussed.
And when do the property owners pay?
They're going to pay up front. What we've done is we've avoided the assessment process. We're trying to avoid the assessment process, and that saves everybody money because you don't have to pay attorneys, and you don't have to pay the engineer the cost to do that, and it slows it all down. So this was it's pretty unique, and there's some risk in it, but I think the property owners have been very invested, and they want to see this improvement, as you know, through the communication that they've given Councilmember Van Zetten on numerous occasions.
What did you say about the engineer?
You'd have to pay an engineer to also help with the assessment process, in addition to what we're already paying.
But on the breakout for the design cost, as I understand it, that has what I'd call project management. We're probably calling it inspection. So Garden will provide that, and
inspection
it's in that number, and the city, Keelish, will be involved.
Keelish is just from a project coordination standpoint.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
You don't think there's any other unforeseen issues?
Hard to say, and again, that's something that the property owners would be responsible for if there's an underground shaft that's found unexpectedly.
Yeah,
They're all aware of that.
Yes. Yeah, we've tried to do our due diligence as best as possible with multiple inspections, utility locates, on-site inspections. This is the best of our knowledge, and until we open it up, we won't know. And that was one of the reasons why the project was essentially kind of pushed off until spring or summer, is we didn't want to open the ground up in the winter and have some problems. And so we just thought the time would be better with this timeline.
Is the water board on board to what they'll have to do?
They've been informed, yeah, Keelish said.
They were informed. Chad Kuhn has been informed about this project, so they are aware of this. We even asked them, do they want to do any improvements because of this project. They said they don't want to do any improvements because it's on the south side of First Avenue. Their water main line is on the south side of First Avenue, whereas we are doing work on the north side of First Avenue.
So they were concerned about chewing up the road,
right,
which is not included in this project. Again, we're doing the minimal project that we could possibly.
The lines run from the south to the north.
Service line.
That's still in the street.
Service line.
Huh?
It's in the street.
Yeah. I mean, I just happen to know, like the bank's water meter's under that sidewalk.
Right.
There's a door that goes out of the basement of the bank, under the sidewalk, and there's the water meter. So that's what made me think
Well,
of.
the homeowners will not be required to change their service lines unless there is a lead connection. So that's one of the unforeseen conditions where you will be required to upgrade your water service line. So.
Isn't there a tree in that sidewalk right now?
They'd be removed, yeah. Yes.
Okay.
Everybody's good with this now?
There's going to be another meeting that's trying to be scheduled here in the next couple of weeks to go over, but as far as we know, everybody's on board.
Okay.
All right.
Any other questions or concerns? Roll call, please.
Van Zetten?
Yes.
Versteeg?
Yes.
Walling?
Yes.
Yates?
Yes.
Caligari?
Yes.
Jimenez?
Yes.
Moore? Yes.
Okay, that passes. Takes us to item number D. Consider a resolution adopting the proposed 2013-2014 budget amendment and the proposed 2014-2015 budget and setting the date for the public hearing. This resolution sets the public hearing for March 3rd, 2014 and authorizes publication of the notice. The notice will include a tax rate to be levied in the approximate amount of $13.85816 per thousand of assessed valuation. Only in government do we have someone say approximate and then run it out to 5 digits. The rate of 13.85816 represents a decrease of 14.184 cents in the city rate for the next year, so staff is recommending approval of this item. Do you have a motion for approval?
Second.
Okay, any discussion?
Mayor, just like we've done last year, during the item next, when the public hearing is held, I'll do a brief presentation for the public in case there were people who didn't stay up for the entire 6-hour budget retreat. So it'll have it'll have highlights for the public.
We want to have instant replay is what we want.
We can do another 6 hours.
Okay. It's every bit as exciting as the Super Bowl, probably.
How do you really feel about that?
Maybe even more so.
Item 8, report on any other items from...
Oh, we didn't do anything.
I'm sorry, vote, yes. Roll call, please.
Versteg.
Yes.
Walling.
Yes.
Yates.
Yes.
Caligari.
Yes.
Jimenez.
Yes.
Moore. Yes. Van Zetten.
Yes.
Thank you. Get all distracted over here.
That would really ruin Amy's night.
Item 8, reports on other items from city staff. City manager, anything?
No, sir.
Okay, city clerk, anything?
No, sir.
City attorney, anything?
Thank you, sir.
Okay, moving on then. Item 9, items from city councilman. Joe, how about you?
Nothing.
Okay, Aaron?
No, thank you.
Scotty? Thank you. Welcome back.
Yeah, it's good to be back.
Tom?
Nothing, sir.
Doug?
No, sir.
What does it do to us if we take the claims we always get the night we get here and wait and approve those in 2 weeks? That means a delay of 2 weeks to pay those vendors?
We generally just pay once a month claims. That's the process. And then we run reports so that we can balance for the month.
However, we could bring it back as a separate action item.
Yeah.
We tend not to do that. We try to push it off to the next claims list. So yes, it would delay it.
Yes. 2 weeks.
Anybody else
A
have an
minimum
issue
of
with
2
that?
weeks.
Okay, never mind.
Okay. Jason, anything?
No, sir.
Okay. Yes, I would just like to remind everybody that we've got Eggs and Issues coming up this coming Saturday. That's at 8:30 at Smoky Row. If you want to have the opportunity to talk to your legislator at the state level, that's the time you want to be there to do it. Hosted by yours truly. So we look forward. I have been encouraged by my wife not to tell any more jokes, and so we will stop doing that. That said, do we have a motion for adjournment?
Second.
Okay, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
We're adjourned.